Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of your head table. You may be seated. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Before we get started, I've been asked to pass along this message. You'll notice that Rogers TV is recording the evening's event for a future air date. So you're asked to please keep your volume low during speeches from the podium and remain seated. So just be cool. Thank you. I want to start by acknowledging that this event is taking place on traditional Wolastoqey territory. The territory of the Wolastoqey people is recognized in the peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that runs through our city is known as the Wolastoq, along which the Wolastoqey, the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. Good evening, and welcome to the 2024 State of the City Address. My name is Morgan Peters, CEO of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. A special thank you to our piper this evening, Mr. Andy Rogers. This is an important event in the Chamber's annual calendar. It is an opportunity for the community to be informed about the successes, challenges, and opportunities in our city. I want to thank Mayor Rogers and all of City Council and staff for their warm welcome as I took over the CEO role this year. Can't even say it yet. And a special congratulations to Councillor Jocelyn Pike for being recently appointed Deputy Mayor late last month. To get us started tonight, I would like to invite Sogam Alan Polches to the stage to bring welcome greetings. Thank you.
Williwin Morgan and Gulisuk Gulpin, Nitaliwis Sogam Alan Polches, New J Owl Sedunsas. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Alan Polches. I'm the Chief of St. Mary's First Nations. I want to welcome you to this wonderful space here in our unceded and unsurrendered Wolastoqey territory this evening. Woo! I want to, of course, acknowledge the laughter as we just begin this evening. Because in our culture, laughter is medicine. Medicine is what we need in 2024 to get us through the day. Trust me. We need to laugh. We need to identify our spirits, because all the work that we do in this beautiful city, the city that Mayor Kate leads, right? The work that we do over at St. Mary's First Nations, collaborating is very important. But circling back to, of course, every single one of you for the work that you do, the business that you carry out, the service that you carry through our friends from the Fredericton City Police, to, of course, all of our friends at the DEC, at the Doctors Everett Chalmers Hospital, collaborating. We got to take care of our spirits before, so we can take care of others and take care of our families. And that's what is important. So tonight, on behalf of my council and all the citizens, we're honored to be here to join in this conversation and this State of the City address. Of course, Mayor Kate and her family, it's always lovely to see you, and thank you, Williwen, for allowing me to sit with you and to have this conversation. And for all of you, we're here to listen, we're here to understand, and of course, we're here to innovate. Because how we make this path forward for this beautiful city that we all call home is about collaborating and coming together. Whether we're newcomers, francophones, anglophones, or indigenous, we share this treaty together. We're all treaty people. And with that, I'm very, very honored and excited for, of course, I can smell summer coming. June 21st is around the corner. But we at Sedunxas, St. Mary's First Nation, are going to call in our ancestors. And I call in our ancestors tonight. See some of those empty seats there? They're our ancestors. They're your ancestors. They're all of our ancestors. Those are the folks that have gone before us, have done the work here in this beautiful city of Fredericton, Sedunxas, that we, of course, call home. And with that, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate on the north side of Fredericton. For all those north siders, right? Woo! Right, Jocelyn? South side versus north side, we all live in this beautiful city that we call home, and it's the Wolastoq that brings us together. Thank goodness the Princess Margaret Bridge is open, right? Right? Just a little note to, of course, our engineers in the room. You could have waited till school was done, right? In any event, I swapped that elephant in the room, but with that, just speaking from a North Sider, with that I'll get to the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, I want, on behalf of my council that are sitting here tonight, give them a round of applause. They're right here on table. Want to send out a special happy birthday to Mikey. Happy birthday, Mikey, and our councilors. Yes, happy birthday. And to anybody else that is celebrating. Because celebrating yourself is quite important. As I talked about earlier, celebrating your spirit, celebrating with families, celebrating with friends. Because we all know life is short. But with that, we're going to, of course, bring out our drums this weekend at the St. Mary's Powwow, the 24th annual powwow that is happening on the north side of Fredericton at the Old Reserve, June 14th, 15th, and 16th. We are Sedunxas. This is our largest cultural event. And we are the first community in the province of New Brunswick out of the 15 First Nation communities to have an outdoor powwow. And we bring and attract a number of visitors to our city, of course, our home here in Fredericton. We fill the hotels, we fill the restaurants, and we come here to celebrate. So to those service industry people, Williwen for taking care of our guests. But with that, I invite all of you, your families, your friends. This is a family-friendly cultural event. There is no cost to that. Everyone is welcome. Despite the weather that, of course, is going to be happening this weekend, we've arranged a huge tent to cover those grounds, so make sure you don't get wet for that. So come on out, enjoy all the crafters, the food, and of course, all the celebration of Mother Earth and the heartbeat of Mother's drum. Because when you hear that drum, That is the mother, that's the first thing we hear when we're in the mother's womb. And when we hear the drum, as we go throughout our lives, that of course connection is connecting to our mothers, because we all had a mom. With that, ladies and gentlemen, again to Mayor Kate, congratulations on another year of service in our beautiful city of Fredericton, and to your council as well. Chiwaliwin, thank you very much for your service, and we look forward to, of course, your presentation this evening. And again, thank you for the invitation on behalf of all the citizens of Sedunxes and our council. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Waliwin, and enjoy your dinner. See you at the powwow.
Everybody knows Chicky. Everybody loves Chicky. Let's hear it one more time. Keep it going. Love, love, love. Awesome, awesome. All right. Thank you once again. Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Lawrence from New Country 92.3. You're like, he's on that station now? Yeah, I am. I changed stations. I'm on New Country 92.3 now. I will be your MC this evening. Really excited and happy to be here. We're going to have a great time tonight, and obviously our fearless leader going to be giving a speech, right? You have a speech prepared, or are you going to wing it? That's a big book. That's a big... Probably not getting out of here in time. This is what I thought we were... No, that's okay. That's okay. Very important person. She's wonderful. Can't wait for her. I will now invite Jenny Paul to the stage to sing O Canada, so please stand if you are able.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. Walita haswagin no me tunen eli speak weak. Lawton gwas and wagon nagagudogig de plubria espoir. Et ta valeur de foi trempée protégera nos foyers et nos doigts. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Somehow this is already the fourth State of the City address for Mayor Kate. So let's hear it. I tried to be part of the marketing and make it Mrs. Rogers' neighborhood, but nobody would listen to me. Did I just blow the entire speech? Like, hashtag Mrs. Rogers' neighborhood. Let's get that going. Can we do that? Can we do that? Cool. I'm Dave from New Country 92.3, The Wake Up Show with Dave. Very excited. I like to give people due where they earn it. Let's give the Convention Centre and all the great workers here the wonderful meal that's coming. I love them so much. I'm super glad that we're being served tonight and it's not a buffet situation. If you've never heard my buffet story, you're in a dimly lit room. A buffet is your enemy. It's not safe. I was at an event once where I was in a dimly lit room and it was like an ongoing joke. Like somebody had just turned the lights down too low and it was like, hey, Mike, is that you? I can barely see you. And we went up and we all got our meal, and at the end I went to the dessert table and I got a Nanaimo bar, big Nanaimo fan. And I got a bowl of vanilla pudding. It was fantastic. And then I sat down, and I'll tell you something right now. Listen close. When you think you're about to put a spoonful of sugary, delicious vanilla pudding in your mouth and it's mayonnaise, something inside you changes forever. So I'm really glad that they're serving it to us today. I want to give a big shout out, could we, to all the dads for Father's Day coming up tonight, this week? And if I may, super quickly, I would like to now share with you my 2 favorite text messages from my father. Your mother got a mammogram today. She almost passed out. Me, cool. And lastly, your great aunt just passed away. Your great aunt Margaret just passed away. LOL. Me. Why is that funny? Dad, it's not funny, David. What do you mean? Do you know what LOL means? Yes, lots of love. No, it means laugh out loud. Dad, oh my God, I sent that to everyone. I have so many calls to make. Happy Father's Day. We're here for Mayor Kate, who is the absolute best. Love her to death. We're looking forward to learning about the goals that she and council, along with their team of city employees, have put in place for the upcoming year and beyond. We have many members of the City Council and senior staff in attendance, and we thank each of them for attending, along with other dignitaries with us tonight. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce today's head table guests. Please hold your applause until all the head table guests have been introduced. Here we go. Her Worship, Mayor Kate Rogers. Husband of Mayor Rogers and First Gentleman of Fredericton, Mike Wolf. Mother-in-law of Mayor Rogers, Jackie Wolf. Mother of Mayor Rogers, Elizabeth Rogers. Daughter of Mayor Rogers, Eliza Wolf. Significant other of Eliza Wolf, Benjamin DeLong. Daughter, Iris Wolf. Significant other of Iris Wolf, Chloe Box. Chief of St. Mary's First Nation, Sogom Alan Polchis Jr. We all saw Chicky earlier. Michael Melvin, President of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce and partner at McInnes Cooper. Our platinum sponsor, John Blackmore, Product Director of Hotspot Parking. And Morgan Peters, CEO of Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. Let's hear it for our head table. I would also like to recognize that we have several other distinguished guests in attendance today. Okay, we'll go through them all. We'll give them a big round of applause at the end. Susan Holt, leader of the official opposition, MLA for Bathurst East, Nepisiguit St. Isidore, Bathurst East, Nepisiguit St. Isidore, and leader of the New Brunswick Liberal Party. Practiced that 100 times this afternoon. Didn't quite nail it, but I tried. Jeff Carr, MLA for New Maryland, Sunbury. Deputy Mayor Jocelyn Pike, Ward 4. Councillor Bruce Grandy, Ward 3. Councillor Stephen Hicks, Ward 5. Councillor Eric McGarity, Ward 6. Councillor Gregory Erickson, Ward 8. Councillor Cassandra LeBlanc, Ward 10. Councillor Jason Lejeune, Ward 11. Welcome to, let's give a big round of applause for those groups right there. We'll do the next one next. Here we go. Welcome to Assistant Councillors Mike Baer, Shannon Polchis, Storm Pearlie Brooks, Chief and Council Operations Manager Sarah Rose, and Jenny Paul. Let's hear it for them. There we go. If I say anyone's name wrong, I want you to come up to me and let me know, and I will make a $5 donation to SPCA. That's my rule when I MC things, all right? I also have 3 kids, so let's not be too hardcore. It's like, if he made like a pretty good effort, they'd be like, all right, we can let him slide on that one. From the Village of New Maryland, we have Mayor Judy Wilson-Shee, Councillor Alex Golden, and Councillor Mike Pope. Let's hear it for him. Finally, I would like to point out a very special table in the room. We've got table 6 right there. Oh, I startled you on that one. There you go. She's a table 6 over there. The City of Fredericton's past mayor's table. Many thanks to the sponsors of this table, the New Brunswick Real Estate Board. This evening at the table, we have past mayor J.W. Bud Bird. Everybody, let's hear it for him. Let's keep it going. There we go. And past mayor Walter Brown. Let's keep it going for Walter. Unfortunately, past mayors Brad Woodside and AM Sandy Giacinto, had to send their regrets. Sandy just took ill, unfortunately, this morning, so we wish her the best, and we look forward to seeing them next year. All right, one more. Let's give them a round of applause, even though they're not here. They're wonderful. All right, and now we have a special treat for you. For 14 years, Systema New Brunswick has demonstrated that children's lives and their entire life trajectories can be transformed through their after-school orchestral music program. Established in 2009, this free program now operates from 9 centers and serves over 1,200 children daily with proven impact among children, families, and communities. Among hundreds of children a year, grades improve and behavioral concerns decline. The first Systema New Brunswick students are now in university and are better equipped for their chosen careers. The Systema New Brunswick Fredericton Centre is directed by Victor Vivas and the Systema New Brunswick Fredericton Senior Ensemble, who is with us this evening. Placed first in the 2023 Canadian National Festival of Music. Let's do a stop down right now. Let's go. Please join us in welcoming the Systema New Brunswick Fredericton Senior Orchestra to perform and celebrate our annual State of the City address. One more time, let's go. first place in the Canadian National Festival of Music, and I think we can all see why. Let's keep it going. Sistema Senior Orchestra. Off the top of our next segment here, I wanted to say something real quick. Maybe, all my friends and family know I like to play the hypothetical game. Maybe there was an MC up here earlier, and maybe that MC referred to a previous mayor who was mayor well before he ever moved here 9 years ago, and maybe he referred to that mayor as a she. Maybe he did. And that mayor, Sandy DiGiacinto, is a man. And as soon as I sat back down at my table, they were like, "Gee." But I'm not saying it was me. It could have been any MC that was up here last night. So this MC is going to donate $20 to the SPCA for that horrible mistake. I'll give it to you good people. You get a tax receipt? 'Cause paydays tomorrow. Yeah, we're cool. No, thank you guys so much. All right. Hope you enjoyed your meal. Hello again. Hope you enjoyed your great meal. I already said that. Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause to the staff at the Fredericton Convention Centre, which is fabulous. The meal was fantastic. Dessert already on its way out. There you go. Now it's my pleasure at this time to call upon Chris Pelkey, representing our gold sponsor, McInnes Cooper, to come on up and say a few words. Let's hear it for Chris. Here we go. That's my guy right there. There you go. Take her over, brother.
Yeah, so funny story about this. When I found out this was happening, I asked the organizers if there was any way I could get involved, and they said, well, you can't sing as good as Jenny, you're not as funny as Dave, and you can't play the cello, but you can get up on stage and introduce your law firm. I said, great. And they said, you got 2 minutes. And so, anyways, I had to put my Polish hip-hop act in the safe for now, but you'll get it someday, Fredericton, you'll get it someday. But let me tell you, you do what you can when you get the chance to get up on stage at the State of the City address. So here it goes. Good evening, everybody. My name's Chris Pelkey, and I'm a labor employment lawyer with McInnes Cooper in our Fredericton office, and I'm honored to be here tonight representing McInnes Cooper as a gold sponsor of the city's State of the City event. I'm also proud to be a lifelong Frederictonian and a member of this vibrant community. And Fredericton really is a community kind of in every sense of that word. I'm sure every single one of you has had that experience where you go out for a 5-minute lunch walk and it ends up taking an hour because you know everybody that you meet along the way. I know it's happened to me and to the partners at the law firm in the office that are in the audience. I make that time up in the evening after my kid goes to bed. At McInnes Cooper, we're proud to be part of the fabric that makes Fredericton thrive. Our city's strength lies in its strong sense of community, and we're committed to supporting and fostering that spirit in everything that we do. As a full-service law firm with offices in Fredericton and throughout Atlantic Canada, we offer a wide range of legal services from labor and employment, had to shout that out, that's what I do, to corporate and commercial law, franchise law, wills and estate, real estate, and even energy and natural resources. But what I think truly sets the firm apart is our dedication and integration in the community that we serve and kind of the impact that that community has on us. Get to the next page here. We take pride in delivering professional and skilled legal services to our community members, whether that's helping somebody start up their very first business for the very first time or establishing a major energy project in New Brunswick that brings jobs and creates a brighter future for everybody. Our corporate social responsibility committee and team, we've got our president here in the audience, works with and supports various charities throughout the city, ensuring that we give back and support those in need. And our pro bono program, which I'm very proud of, provides essential legal services to not-for-profits and other deserving organizations that reinforces a commitment to making a positive impact. And we at McInnes Cooper really hope that through our work, we make Fredericton a stronger community because we know that the wonderful people of this city make us stronger. Fredericton thrives because of its community, and McInnes Cooper is proud to be a part of that community. We'd like to extend our sincerest thank you to all the people who are here tonight and to all the people who couldn't make it, but nevertheless contribute to building a better, stronger Fredericton for everybody. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this wonderful evening, and here's to our continued collaboration in the bright future of Fredericton. Thank you.
Oh, you guys! I just noticed this is like my last part of my job. After this little chunk here, you're rid of me. You're all gone. I'll be out of here. But before I go, two things. First, Kelly, get the white wine ordered right now. Let's keep that going. And second of all, I'd now like to introduce our platinum sponsor, John Blackmore of Hotspot Parking, to come up to the stage to speak and also to introduce our guest of honor. Let's hear it for John. My guy.
All right, you good? Good. Thanks, Dave. It's great to be back at this excellent event. I realized as I was walking up here that everyone in this room has something in common, which is no one knows, and neither do I, what I'm going to say next. So we'll see how this goes. 16 hours and 39 minutes. Whenever I'm asked to speak at one of these events, I like to calculate the collective amount of time that everyone is giving me out of their day. So that's what it is, and I try to aim to give back the same value. And as I look out into this room full of people, I ask myself, what value can I bring, right? I see people with more business experience than me. I see people with more life experience than me. I see people that have already checked out of this speech. And I've had the honor of doing a couple of these speeches in the past. First, in 2021, I did one that focused on Hotspot's resilience during a difficult time, of which we will not name. The second speech was in 2022, and that highlighted Hotspot as a Fredericton success story. Very good. And that got me thinking, how do we measure success? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that success is much more subjective than it would appear on the surface. An example that comes to mind happened about 5 years ago when I started at Hotspot. It was the first real challenge I was given. I was traveling up to Bathurst, or Bathurst, as we like to say in Fredericton, to meet with a client who was having trouble with one of our new features that we just launched, auto-renewing permits. Now, something you should know about parking, Hotspot parking, no one cares about parking until someone parks in your spot. After that, all bets are off. I'm talking literally angry toddler level of spitefulness. But what had happened is our newly launched Auto Renew feature was slowly eating up spaces from people who were buying their permit the old way. That meant people that had been buying for a while couldn't buy their permit anymore. And what success meant to all the parties involved was very different. For the users, it was that no one could steal their spot anymore. For the city, it was that angry customers would stop losing their minds at their staff. And for me, it was that my boss would no longer receive exacerbated phone calls from our client. And I say all this to make a point, that maybe it's not how we measure success that is important, but why we measure success. The other day, I was watching a YouTube video while procrastinating writing this speech, and I came across an interesting quote by Denzel Washington. He said, "Dreams without goals are just dreams." And I think that's the key to why we measure success. Do we have any marathon runners in the room? Show of hands. No one? Oh, we got a couple. Keep your eye on them. They're the crazy ones. What's the difference between running 42.195 kilometers and running a marathon? The difference is not how we measure the distance, but why we are measuring that distance, that accomplishment. Working for Hotspot has been an incredible journey of personal growth for me. I went from selling suits to, within 5 years, leading product design, and has come with challenges, but overall, I've enjoyed the journey. I'm proud of the fact that I work for a company that provides jobs to students. Almost 70% of Hotspot is MBC graduates. And we were happy to do that, even though we had to learn some of the lessons the hard way. I'm also proud of the fact that I was able to play a small part in building a company that was eventually sold to one of Europe's largest engineering firms. But one mistake I made was not stopping to appreciate the milestones, the finish lines that we passed along the way. Looking back, they're all incredibly obvious, but it's so easy to miss the accomplishments in the moment. Failure to define goals leads to all kinds of bad things, like imposter syndrome and burnout, because no one's as hard on you as you are on yourself. And so the value I hope that I can provide to you all this evening is to make sure to measure your success, but also to make sure you know why you are measuring, because if you don't, you won't know when you've crossed the finish line or why you crossed it in the first place. Now, enough about me and my personal journey. I would like to take the next minute or so to appreciate the success of the person we're all excited to hear from. Kate Rogers has dedicated her career to building community through leadership roles in the nonprofit and charitable sector, in arts and culture development, and in policy research and creation. With a master's degree in political science, Rogers is committed to good governance, public engagement, and informed decision-making. She was executive director of the Fredericton Community Foundation, the Charlotte Street Arts Centre, the New Brunswick Crafts Council, and the managing director of NB Social Policy Research Network. This is Rogers' third term on Fredericton City Council. She was first elected in May 2012, and again in May 2016. She served as the deputy mayor for the city of Fredericton for a 2-year term in May 2016. In May 2021, Kate Rogers was elected as mayor of Fredericton. She is the first woman to serve that role. Slay Queen. I asked for permission to say that, by the way. Throughout her time on City Council, Rogers served on numerous committees and chaired the Arts and Cultural Committee, Governance and Civic Engagement Committee, and Livable Community Committee. She also served as a council representative for the Planning Advisory Committee, the Preservation Review Board, and Downtown Fredericton Incorporated. Presently, Rogers chairs the Fredericton Affordable Housing Committee and sits as an ex officio member on all City of Fredericton standing committees. Throughout her life, Rogers has been an active volunteer and board member. She's a proud past Senate president of Omista Credit Union and a founding co-chair of the Fredericton Arts Alliance. Currently, Rogers sits on the University of New Brunswick Board of Governors and is a director of the Capital Region Service Commission. As a lifelong resident of Fredericton, Kate Rogers and her husband, Mike Wolf, have lived in downtown Fredericton for almost 25 years with their 2 daughters, Eliza and Iris. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Her Worship, Mayor Kate Rogers, to the podium for the State of the City address. Mayor Rogers.
Wow, what a crowd. Looks great. Thank you very much, John. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you. And some really insightful comments that you provided on goal setting and measuring success and seeing how far we've come. And I've got to tell you, there's nothing like hearing your bio to hear how far you've come and maybe how old you are. But that's for another day. Look, I also want to say sincere thank you to Sistema for being here with us this evening and for sharing their beautiful music. I'm going to give, I don't even think they're here, but we're going to give them another round of applause. We are so fortunate. I don't know if you all know the story of Sistema, and I won't go through it all except to say that we're so fortunate to have these musicians in our city learning about music, but also this is very much a socioeconomic equalizer, this program. So they're building community with children from lots of different backgrounds. They all come together every day. They play music together every day. They make music. They work together collaboratively. It's a social enterprise in so many ways, and they just happen to be phenomenal performers. I was so impressed, and I want to thank the Chamber for inviting them to be here this evening. This is a group that's very close to my heart, and to the hearts of my council mates. We, the City of Fredericton, funds Systema every year through our community grant. We know how valuable they are in this community, and I think tonight was living proof. So, yeah. Again, I came up and said such fun because it truly is. It's wonderful to look out on a room filled with people that you know and admire and respect. Good evening to you all. Bonsoir, Kwe. Welcome, everyone. I'm very grateful that you are all here with me this evening for the State of the City Address. It's a real privilege that you've taken your time to be with us. And while the presence of each and every one of you is special, it truly is. It's special and it's very much appreciated. There are a few in attendance tonight that I would like to highlight. First of all, my council colleagues who are here in the room, they're sitting at that table. We have with us our new, as of today, Deputy Mayor Jocelyn Pike. Yes. And also councillors Bruce Grandy, Steve Hicks, Eric McGarity, Greg Erickson, and Jason Lejeune. So thank you all for being here. It is 3 years ago tomorrow. So tomorrow, June 14th, it will be the 3-year anniversary since this council was sworn in. And every day we work together as colleagues in collaboration. We bring diverse perspectives to the table, and I am very proud of what our dialogue and decision-making is accomplishing for our residents. It's meaningful, it's important. Call me a nerd, but I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's good work, and I feel privileged to be able to carry it out with each and every one of you, truly. Now, speaking of working to improve our community, we have lots of city staff here tonight. I'm looking down on them. It's heartening to look down on staff and feel their support. I know that our staff that's led by our fearless leader, CAO Steve Hart, work tirelessly for our city. There are some really innovative projects on the go this year, and it's through staff guidance that we bring them to light. So thank you all for your efforts. Thank you. I don't know if they're going to like that I'm doing this, but I have to wish a happy anniversary to 2 of our staff who are here, who have chosen to spend the evening with all of us. So Dylan and Alicia, happy anniversary. So to former mayors Bud and Walter, thank you for being here. I know you've given and listened to many speeches during your service to our city, and I'm delighted that you're able to join us here this evening. Really, thank you for being here. At the head table, we have John Blackmore from Hotspot. He's always a great seatmate. We always have great conversation. We have a Chamber CEO, Morgan Peters, and President Michael Melvin. I have my family with me. My brother was here earlier playing the bagpipes. That was my big brother, Andy. He is a teacher, and his report cards are due like tomorrow, I think, so we had to sneak out. But he asked me to share this, and I think this room might appreciate it. The bagpipes that my brother was playing were actually my mother's bagpipes. My mom played the bagpipes. I think she was the first girl to learn to play the bagpipes in the city in Fredericton. Her grandfather was the pipe major of the St. Andrew's Pipe Band, Samuel Lean. Mom played the bagpipes, and then when Andy turned 7, he was like, Mom, can I learn to play the bagpipes? Like, how many 7-year-olds say, can I learn to play the bagpipes? Anyway, she was like, sure. So he played her bagpipes. He went on to become a world gold medal champion. He's a professional bagpiper and a music teacher. And he had to do report cards, so he had to leave. But he was going to be sitting next to Sagam Polchis. I also have with me my husband, Michael. We have with us our mothers, our daughters and their guests. The seniors and the young'uns are well represented tonight. And I think, and that's really important to me. It is really important to me. I love them, so I love being with them, but it's important to surround myself with them. They are the voices that fill my ears. They keep me relevant, and they remind me of the range and breadth of ages that we represent as municipal leaders. A special thank you to Sagam Pulches for joining me at the head table again this year, and to members of the Sedungsix Band Council for attending. I love looking out and seeing all your faces. I'm so pleased of the relationship that we have formed as both Sedungsix and Fredericton continue to grow and accomplish great things for our communities. I'm proud of that relationship, and I'm happy that you're here to celebrate with us tonight. Our work with federal, yes. Come a long way, my friends. Come a long way. Our work with the federal, and there's more to, and we've got a lot further to go. Our success with the federal and provincial governments is crucial to the success in our region. Thank you to Susan Holt, leader of the official opposition, and to MLA Jeff Carr for recognizing the importance of these relationships and for being here this evening. Thank you for showing up. We see it. Also, thank you to the elected officials from the other municipalities who are in attendance. And as well, we have representatives from our 2 universities. We have tables. And I want to thank Dr. Paul Musrall from UMB for being with us this evening, and Dr. Froki from St. Thomas University for being here as well. These are important partnerships for our city, so I'm really glad that you're here. Also, thank you to the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce for once again organizing the event. You always do such a great job. And congratulations on your 150th anniversary, 150 years of being the voice of business in our city. And yes, and speaking of businesses, thank you to all the sponsors who made this event possible. These things just don't happen. So it's very appreciative that you stepped forward to sponsor this event. Downtown Fredericton's another partner who's here. They look out for our downtown business core, and a warm welcome to the new Executive Director, Adam Peabody. Our friends from Business Fredericton North are here as well. A shout out to Executive Director Trina McDonald, who couldn't be with here, but we want to say a special thanks to BFN for the work they do to support the Northside Central Business District. There's also the team from Ignite who's here. They're leading regional economic development through business growth and workforce attraction, and thanks to CEO Sarah Corey-Hallahan for leading the charge. Yeah. And finally, as I stand on this stage, I would be remiss if I did not wish Kathy Pugh all the best as she retires as General Manager of the Fredericton Convention Centre. Yeah. And I also extend a warm welcome to Erin Blanchard as she takes on the GM role. So I say all these people, I know they were introduced, some of them earlier, but I wanted to highlight them because this is the caliber of people that we have leading our economic efforts in our city. They're the caliber of people we have carrying out projects within our city and within our region. And I couldn't be prouder of this group of people who are helping to make this bend in the river an even better place to live, work, and play. So let's get to the meat of it. It's as has been the case since my very first address, Fredericton continues to experience tremendous growth. This year, however, the positive news of growth is contrasted with the concerning issues of affordability that we are all facing. Knowing that, this evening I wanted to focus on how the city is responding to these realities. We have seen challenges in the past, and it has always given us the opportunity to develop new ways, creative ways of doing things. If nothing else, innovation is our tradition at the City of Fredericton. So now for the numbers. Our population, it is currently estimated to be over 74,000 residents. It's up close to 20,000 people from a decade ago. And all indications are that the city is continuing to grow. In fact, we are tripling the forecasts projected within our growth strategy, welcoming nearly 3,000 new residents last year alone, as opposed to the anticipated 1,000. And while we're seeing growth in almost every area of the city, primarily it's happening within our downtown and within the identified growth nodes of Brookside Drive, Cliff Street, and Bishop Drive, Hamel Road, High Point Ridge. This is no surprise as you move around the city, especially now. A little bit better, but a couple of weeks ago, I saw the people glaring at me through their windshields as they were trying to get around town. I felt it. And not even our bridge, but still I felt it. From an age perspective, we continue to be a young city, hence the importance of the young ones with me. This slide shows that almost 28% of our population is between the ages of 25 and 44. These statistics bode well for our future, but what I find them really interesting because they help us to and inform us to know where we need to put special attention and focus. The result of all of this growth has been another record-breaking year of development in Fredericton. In 2023, the city issued building permits for over $267 million in construction activity. It's surpassing the 2022 activity by over $10 million. It's growing a little old, me standing up here and saying, we broke record-breaking numbers. We broke last year's record-breaking number. It feels really good, but there are realities that come along with that. New residential development totaled $166 million, with commercial, government, and institutional construction being valued at $101 million. All indications are that we are on track for another record-breaking year of construction. So I prepare you now. I will likely be here next year saying another record-breaking year. And while the growth in our city is good news, and it truly is good news, as I've said, we know that we balance this good news with the challenges that come with it. And a challenge that we are all experiencing is affordability. It is a real concern for our residents, as it is for many across the country. I just came back from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. Look, we're in good company. All of us are feeling most of the same pressures. It doesn't make it any better, but it means that we have more heads working together to try to address the issues. But just like households and businesses here in the city, increasing costs have impacted our municipal operations. How do we sustain the business while continuing to deliver value to our residents? That is the question of the day. How do we sustain the business given inflation while continuing to deliver value? But again, as a city whose tradition is innovation, we respond through being innovative in our approach, always seeking out the best methods and best practices. We actively identify and receive support through other orders of government, through the programs that they make available, and we are consistently looking at the effectiveness and the efficiency of our municipal services. We're sort of putting all this together to try to deliver a program to you of a livable city. Our 2024 budget of $168.2 million, with expenses increasing a little more than 10% over last year. So approximately 6% of those increases were needed just to cover inflation to our operating and capital expenses. Just shy of 2% was allocated to new and enhanced services, and about the same was invested in services to support our growing community. We kept programs running and continued to make investments in the community while reducing the property tax rate for 88% of our residents. In fact, in the last 3 years, the City of Fredericton has actually cut 10.25 cents from the tax rate. Now I know you're all thinking, Mayor, how come if you're dropping the tax rate? Why is my bill increasing? And I have to tell you, we feel it in our household too. We feel it as well. But it's, you've seen the overall increase mainly due to increased provincial property assessments. And trust me when I say that Council was very mindful of the increases people were feeling as we went through our budget deliberations. As well, we're being very sensitive to the affordable issues that are confronting everyone. We on Council feel the financial squeeze, both at the personal and at the Council level. Our budget response was an attempt to balance the needs of the city and its ability to deliver services and amenities to our residents, while at the same time contribute to affordability in a way that would have the greatest result for everyone. We chose to invest money in delivering affordable infrastructure and programming to our residents, believing that that might have the greatest impact. So we thought if we can somehow deliver affordable programming to residents, that might help their pocketbooks a little bit. So that was our approach. And because of the way that our council operates, we talk amongst each other, we consider, and also we check. We are informed decision makers. So as we made this approach, and then we have since reached out to economist David Campbell to get a better idea of how much municipal taxes affect Frederictonians' budget overall. So we wanted to know, as we're making these decisions and doing this balancing act, you know, how much really of every Frederictonian's budget, how much of the taxes that they pay, how much are actually owned by the municipalities? And this is what we uncovered. Fredericton property taxes contribute to 13% of the overall tax burden felt by residents. So just think of that, all of the taxes you pay, HST, income tax, gas tax, liquor tax, a whole bunch of tax, land transfer tax, a whole bunch of taxes. Out of all of those taxes, 13% goes to your municipal government, goes to the city of Fredericton. And then consider what you get for that. You get police, you get fire, you get roads, you get transit, you get garbage pickup, you get parks, you get rinks, you get pools, you get, yes, you get pools. You get cultural spaces, you get recreational programming and fields and trails. The list goes on and on. Pretty good value for money, I think. Pretty good value for money. Making budgeting decisions, it's all about balance. Delivering what residents need today and into the future, all the while being sensitive to the affordability crisis in our country and remaining responsible fiscal stewards of our collective tax dollars. So when carrying out this balancing act, we keep our council vision top of mind. An inspirational, growing city with a sense of community, a sense of culture, promoting thoughtful urban development, active living, and a social and environmental and fiscal conscience. It's quite a vision. And that's what we have for our city. And it's through this filter that we listen to people, we understand, and then we take action in innovative ways. That vision drives our work. And we deliver on that work through listening, through understanding, and then through innovating. So to guide our thought process, we listen. We listen to what residents are telling us, whether that's in line at the grocery store, and yes, I'm always happy to talk to folks at the grocery store. It's the funniest thing. People come up to leaders at the grocery store and they're like, I'm not going to keep you. Just to say, I know you're busy. I know it's not work. I know, and they do, but then they want to tell you something. And they share, and I'm always saying, I love this. I want to talk to you at the grocery store. So we listen when people talk to us at the grocery store. We listen when we're at events in our city. And we listen when we get emails. Emails come into my office and phone calls get made. We are listening. Also, we are using innovative tools. The city of Fredericton elicits the help of Engage Fredericton. We created the Engage Fredericton platform to help us hear from and listen to our constituents. Using International Association for Public Participation, its IAP2 standards to guide the process, Engage Fredericton is used by the public to learn about city projects and then in turn to provide feedback to the city on various projects. Over the past year, around 5,000 residents have registered to participate on the Engage platform, and there have been over 87,000 visits. I think that's pretty phenomenal. In 2023, we sought input on the design of the Performing Arts Centre, green efforts like Earth Day and No Mo May. We sought input on a design for the new Killarney Lake Party Park, a transit survey, an electric vehicle survey, and we sought input on construction projects such as the Lincoln Roundabout. Although I will point out, there was nothing in that engagement about the Lincoln Pole. That just appeared. That had nothing to do with anything any of you told us. But speaking of the Lincoln Road, if you've driven along there or on Riverside Drive recently, you've probably noticed that you're higher up in some areas than you used to be. That's how engineers innovate. They raise roads to help and aid in our flood resiliency efforts, which I know is important to so many of you in our community and really worth pointing out. I know the roadwork drives everyone, including me, who's always a couple of minutes late, crazy. Like when the roads are busy, it's wild. When the roads are busy with construction and all of that. But I have to tell you, it's more than paving, as you know, right? Like we're doing underground work. And in the case of a city with a river that runs through it, it's really important that we do the flood resiliency work. And raising the roads helps us to do that. And we sought your input on Engage about when might be the best time to do it. So thank you for all that participated. Also, to help shape our city this year, we used Engage Fredericton to get your input on the following big projects. A new transportation study that's going on right now to ensure that as we continue to grow, our transportation network keeps pace. Our ongoing recreation and master plan to help guide our decisions on programming and events and facilities and parks. As newcomers come to our city, they're using these amenities in new and in different ways. It's so exciting to be out in parks and to see people using picnic tables again and using the barbecues. So we're doing a recreation leisure master plan to help guide further decisions in that area. We're also seeking input on the South Core Secondary Municipal Plan. It's a process that's going to tell us how we can densify in those areas while still maintaining the town plat's community character. As well, we're getting continued input on Fredericton's urban forest strategy so that we can be active stewards of the forest. Using various innovative communication and engagement tools lets us know how residents feel and how they think about this place that we call home. And it enables us to craft Fredericton through informed decision-making. You know, as municipal leaders, we really are on the ground with our residents, and we're consistently trying to understand and constructively respond to the realities of the day. And as I have said several times already, and will continue to say to show I feel it too, we are all aware that the concern of the day is affordability. As such, we are striving to create amenities and design programs that are available, affordable, and accessible for everyone. We know that free or low-cost recreational and leisure opportunities are essential in a vibrant city. Fredericton's rapid growth has meant that the development of some neighborhoods has outpaced the building of parks and playgrounds. But this council listened to the voices of residents who told us how important these spaces are to them and to their families. We carried out extensive consultation and design work in these locations, and the parks are being built. In areas like Leanne Valcourt and High Point Ridge, kids are now on swings, enjoying evenings and weekends in local community parks. Residents have also spoken out for the need for more sport fields and courts. We've listened and we're responding. This means more pickleball courts for 2024, with upgrades at Nashwaaksis Middle School and new courts at Willie O'Ree coming very soon. In addition, work is underway on a new cricket pitch in Lincoln, with plans for more. We are dedicated to delivering on that new aquatic center for our residents. We have heard you. We have listened, we have heard, we are committed, and we're working with the Capital Region Service Commission for that project. The design work is ongoing. So it's been a busy year in recreation, as you can see. We're doing lots of things in recreation, but the biggest news of the past few weeks is the new River Access Initiative. There it is. Oh my gosh, doesn't that river look gorgeous? This River Access Initiative will improve the paddling experience for both locals and visitors, positioning the region as a top paddling destination. Even looking at that picture, I just see the Woolastook is irresistible. That river is irresistible. When it sparkles in the morning, when you drive by and you're like, is that bridge above water or is that below water? Because it is just like glass. It's irresistible. We're so fortunate to have that here in our city. And people want to experience it. So we see this city. We're all walking on the trails. We see this river in our city, and we're like, how do we get there? How do we get on to that river? Well, we've heard you've been asking those questions, and so we've created a paddling network with water trails, also known as blue trails, and launch sites that will connect paddlers to local tourism operators, accommodations, and restaurants. There are 3 access points open currently, 4th one that's opening up, an accessible one, and there's lots more to come, so we're all going to get on that river. I'm sure you've all also been scoping out the progress at Officer Square. It's really coming along. And with Officer Square nearing completion, the vision outlined during public consultation several years ago is coming to fruition. Skating for free on the artificial ice track this past winter, it was a big hit, big hit. There were people skating there for months. And also, there will be free regular programming returning this summer. If you haven't heard, we will be hosting an official reopening of Officer Square starting on June 28th and lasting the whole weekend. That's 4 days of free concerts, and the lineup would blow your mind. Truly, a phenomenal lineup. High value, it would be a cha-ching, cha-ching lineup if you had to pay, but you don't have to. All you have to do is show up with your lawn chair or a blanket. And we have one of the performers with us this evening, Tony Lepage, who is going to be opening Officer Square. So it's nice to look out and see Tony as I talk about the opening of that event. But there's tons of performers. Check it all out. Come, please come and join us. Also, popular Garrison Night Market's back for another year, and you can't keep kids of all ages away from the Garrison Skate Park. There's free activities taking place all the time, and truly, all ages are there. I'm worried for some of them, but they keep coming back. As you know, construction has also begun on our Performing Arts Centre, and I look out, I see some folks from the Playhouse here. With this facility in Officer Square, the vibrancy of our downtown is locked. It's locked, with more businesses and activity sure to be established around these sites. Success breeds success. That's been my experience in my many years in this planet. Success breeds success. Everyone wants to be around it. And this energy that is being created in our city is palpable, and it will certainly ignite further development. So I don't know if any of you have listened to a radio or read a newspaper or talked to a neighbor lately, but you can't do so without hearing a story about the scarcity of affordable housing. It's a global issue, and it's being felt by communities across our country, and Fredericton is no exception. Just for a little positioning, I think it's an interesting stat, I think. 55.6% of our residents own their own home, so they're making decisions about their own home, while 43.4% residents are in rental units. They're in units owned by someone else they're paying rent to. It's an interesting statistic, especially if you look deeper and see how it bears, how it plays out. It's quite an interesting statistic. But all that to say, we are hearing regularly from folks expressing the struggles they're having finding housing that suits their incomes. In response, the City of Fredericton approved 839 new housing units for construction in 2023. Higher density forms of residential development made up more than 80% of the total housing construction. This idea that we need high density housing, that's how we're going to house people. It made up 80%, but nevertheless, despite record-breaking numbers, we continue to hear the calls for more affordable housing, with the greatest need for deeply affordable housing. We are doing what we can as a municipal government. We want to be at the forefront of identifying innovative solutions to the housing crisis, and our partners are right there with us at the table. And support from our government partners, so our community partners are right there with us at the table, and the support from our government partners is also critical. And the same is true as we work together to tackle issues related to homelessness in our community. The truth is, our province is in desperate need of fiscal reform. And it's only through fiscal reform that we are truly going to be able to address these issues and many others that we're feeling. And this was another issue that was also experienced around the country, and different provinces have been dealing with it differently. But it was interesting, you know, we're operating on rules that were made like 150 years ago, right? It's a different place now, and we look at who owns what jurisdiction and who gets what money to do what and provide what service. And it's one resident, it's one person. And we all have to be working together, every level of government, to tackle these really big issues. And we're lobbying for that, and we're lobbying for it with other municipalities across our province. But until we get fiscal reform in this province, fair fiscal reform, we are going to do what we do best in Fredericton. We are going to continue to innovate. We will continue to rely on our own innovation, on our own know-how, and on the guidance of community experts. Due to the strength of and the uniqueness of our application, the City of Fredericton has had success in accessing funds. We were one of the fortunate communities to receive federal funding through the first tranche of Housing Accelerator Funds. So the Housing Accelerator Funds, a federal funding program, extremely competitive. Many communities were not successful. We were among the earliest communities to receive funding. That's because we had such a good application. We received $10.3 million to be spent over 3 years. That money is being put out into our city as we speak. As we speak. The city is launching 8 initiatives in total. 5 have already been announced, including affordable rental housing grants for construction of new housing units, nonprofit modest home ownership grants, nonprofit grants for building capacity and pre-development costs, and grants for modular and manufactured housing projects. Yeah. I got a shout out from someone in our committee because she knows how important all of these, making this funding available is. The work is being led, when I speak of the committee, this work is being led by the city's Affordable Housing Coordinator, a new position that was created last year to help us execute our affordable housing strategy and implementation plan. Fredericton also benefits from having an extremely active and knowledgeable affordable housing committee that serves in an advisory capacity. They consist of experts from multiple sectors that offer guidance and advice to council on housing-related issues. I will say this, what those of us who are working and who have been working on this issue for quite some time and working in this sector for quite some time, what we know for certain is that building neighborhoods with a mix of people, with mixed backgrounds and incomes, requiring mixed types of housing, is the best way to shape a sustainable Fredericton. Mix. We need a mix of everything. That's how we're going to get there. Mixed housing, mixed people, mixed incomes, everybody all living together. Sensitive YIMBYism, yes, in my backyard, must be our path forward. That is how we are going to create the community that we want our city to be. So, speaking about what we want our city to be, I'm waiting for the slide to come up, but yay, Sunday bus service. If ever there was an example in recent Fredericton history of when we demonstrated listen, understand, innovate, delivering Sunday transit is it. Residents and businesses have been telling us for a long time, but most especially recently, they told us it was critical that we deliver Sunday transit. So we did. Delivering efficient and effective Sunday transit was made possible by gathering route information through the investments that we made in transit technology last spring. We invested in passenger counters and automated announcements and onboard cameras and debit and credit payments, machines, and these customer-facing improvements provided accessibility enhancements, safety features, and fair payment options. But just as importantly, With these enhancements came the ability to collect passenger data. And not in that weird kind of way, not weird data, good passenger data. Not just the total number of passengers, but also where they got off the bus, where they got on the bus, where they're going. This information was key to future route and service improvements. So as we look ahead and we look at an on-demand service, we need to know where is it that people are traveling? Where are the routes that we need to invest in? We now have the technology in place to make those kinds of decisions, to inform those kinds of decisions. We also made a move to Pacific Western Transportation, PW Transit, for paratransit service, and it's demonstrated a further enhancement in our delivery of service. We will continue to enhance our bus service as we gather additional information from our transit users and residents. We are always trying to innovate and make improvements so that public transit is a viable option for everyone in our city. Stay tuned for some future engagement opportunities. So, as this approach that Council has taken to listen, understand, innovate, it is very much in line with who we are as a city. Fredericton is smart, in case you hadn't heard. In case you haven't heard that over the years, Fredericton is smart. Fredericton's brand as a smart city has long and deliberate history, dating back to 1992, when the city developed its first economic development strategy, Vision 2000. This strategy was focused on growing a vibrant, knowledge-based economy. Vision 2000 contained the building blocks with foundational investments in physical and digital infrastructure. Since that time, our innovation ecosystem, which consists of multiple post-secondary institutions, an innovation district rich in R&D, a knowledge park, and a leading knowledge sector, has received international recognition as one of the world's top 7 intelligent communities. Yeah. 3 times over, we've received that designation, 3 times over. Most recently, just in 2023. So our region is now embarking on Vision 2030. As well, this vision process that's taking place in the community, it's well underway. The exercise is being led by Ignite with the goal of identifying a path forward for a thriving economy with sustainable growth and prosperity. The way I see it, Vision 2030 is only going to reinforce what we already know. Fredericton is the knowledge-based capital of New Brunswick. We have the highest concentration of information, communication, and cyber technology companies, as well as the largest professional, scientific, and technical service-based employment sector. So, of course, we are the knowledge capital of New Brunswick. So it only makes sense that as municipal leaders in New Brunswick's smart city, that we are forward-thinking in how we govern. We listen, understand, innovate, so that we can continue our trajectory as a growing, thriving, sustainable city for all. We take this approach because it is how we can best provide municipal services to our residents, even when affordability is a challenge and prices don't seem to ever be dropping. We take this approach so that we can create a livable community for all of our residents, so that we are a place that people want to stay in, that people want to move to, a place that attracts businesses and visitors. We take this approach so that we are a city that believes in itself, believe in ourself, and invest in our potential. And my friends, Fredericton's potential is great. It is off the charts. So much has already been realized, so much. And if you don't feel your heart pumping with Fredericton pride, you should. So much has been accomplished, so much more to be realized. I just encourage you all, stay involved. Keep loving our city. Take good care of yourselves. And if you can, take care of someone else. With that, until next time, thanks everyone. Williwin, merci.
Thank you, Mayor Kate. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Melvin. I'm the president of the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also a partner with McInnes Cooper, one of the gold sponsors this evening. I'd like to thank Dave Lawrence for being this evening's MC. He did a great job as always. Thank you to Victor and the Sistema New Brunswick Senior Orchestra. I'd also like to recognize Ken Mainville, the president and CEO of Sistema New Brunswick, who's here this evening. Thank you for all the phenomenal work you're doing for New Brunswick and for Fredericton. And of course, a special thank you to Mayor Kate Rogers for delivering the 2024 State of the City Address, which was very comprehensive and very encouraging. Thank you. I agree that Fredericton has a lot to be proud of and that we have a bright future ahead of us. Of course, that doesn't mean we don't have challenges. But the important thing is that we're working together to face those challenges head on. And Mayor Rogers, I want you to know, as I come to the end of my year as president and having been involved with the Chamber for a number of years, you will definitely continue to have an active and engaged partner with the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce. I'm certain you would all agree in this room that there's a reciprocal relationship between having a healthy business sector and having a stronger community. And that's why our organizational vision at the Chamber is stronger community through business prosperity. And I can tell you, through my years of involvement with the Chamber, that the Chamber staff and the volunteer members of the Chamber, directors, et cetera, live that vision every single day. As a token of our appreciation, we are making a donation in your name to the Charlotte Street Arts Center. Once again, I would like to thank all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this event without your support. So I'd like to recognize our platinum sponsor, Hotspot Parking. Our gold sponsors, we'll hold our applause till the end. Our gold sponsors, Encore and McInnes Cooper. Our silver sponsors, the Fredericton International Airport, Gauguin Architecture and Ignite. Our bronze sponsors, the Chartered Professional Accountants of New Brunswick, Covey Basics, Liberty Utilities, The Design Details. Our broadcast sponsor, Rogers. Our design sponsor, Kiers Marketing. Our print sponsor, Advocate Printing. Our photography sponsor, Rob Blanchard Photography. Our radio sponsor, New Country 92.3. And our City of Fredericton Past Mayor's Table sponsor, the New Brunswick Real Estate Board. Let's have another round of applause for our sponsors. Thank you very much. Once again, on behalf of the Chamber, I'd like to say thank you to every one of you for attending this evening, and have a good night.